Welcome to the final episode of Turbocharged SDLC, the Agentic AI Era. Over the last few episodes, we have talked about how Agentic AI is transforming software development, making it highly efficient, autonomous, and intelligent. Today is the most exciting part of this series, where we bring you some real-life stories. You will hear from our industry experts how they have applied Agentic AI in very measurable and meaningful ways in their project. Let's begin our episode today by welcoming Shweta Kulkarni, who is Vice President Projects at Harbinger. She is our go-to expert in product engineering and AI-assisted software development. Welcome, Shweta. Today, we have one more guest, Poonam Jaypuriya, who is Vice President eLearning at Harbinger. She is a seasoned leader in the e-learning domain, and she has built a ton of solutions where she's helped digital learning providers transform the way they build learning technology and content. Welcome, Poonam.
Thank you, Shrikant.
Shweta, let's begin with you first. I know you were here on the first episode. There's one example that still comes to my mind, how you had compared traditional agile to cognitive agile. We had said that it's similar to using a flip phone versus a smartphone. So we are now looking for more such, examples from you. You kind of brought things in interesting perspectives for us. So today, since we're talking about these real life examples, my question to you is, have you seen businesses really use Agentic AI in product development? And if so, can you share some examples with us?
Great question, Shrikant. Businesses across industries have started to leverage Agentic AI for goal setting, decision making, and task execution. One of the examples that I can think of is of an agent called Robo. Robo integrates with Jira and automates the entire project management lifecycle using AI. It can classify and route tickets automatically. It can identify potential dependencies within the tickets. It can also detect duplicate issues. It can also post work updates based on the changes that has happened in the tickets. So overall, it improves team's velocity using intelligent suggestions. Another example that I can think of is of an agent called Watchdog. It is a Datadog agent. It can detect unusual spikes in CPU usage, error rates, and request latencies. It can also correlate the error with the recent changes that has happened, which really simplifies the root cause analysis process. Then another example that is coming to my mind is of a test automation platform called Mabel. Mabel allows testers to create self-healing tests which can update itself when the product UI changes, so that the tester doesn't have to go back and update the test if there is a change in the product user interface. It also helps testers to update the regression test suite as the product evolves. So overall, it reduces QA cycle, which in turn helps to speed up the release cycle.
Shweta, these are great industry examples that you've shared with us. I know you have been experimenting quite a bit with Agentic AI in your own work. And at Harbinger, there are many projects where you're doing AI-assisted engineering. Can you share some of your personal examples with us too?
I'm glad, Shrikant, that you asked this question, because at Harbinger, we have done a lot of good work in Agentic AI in past year or so. In fact, when our customers were thinking about embedding the AI into the SDLC, we formed a pilot project at Harbinger. We formed a lot of different pod teams, which consist of different skill set developers, and we gave them co-pilot licenses. Though the engineers were trained to use AI tools and they were using them in best of their ability, we observed that the code quality was not very consistent as they produced output using Copilot. So, in fact, tech leads were spending a lot of time in doing code reviews, and code review comments were also huge. So what we thought is, we will create an agent for coding best practices implementation, that will take care of coding conventions, security guidelines, performance guidelines, etc. And we embedded that agent within the Copilot. And as soon as we did that, we really saw that the code quality really went up and code review comments started coming down. So that agent is of course in production now, and many of our developers are using it for their day-to-day job now and generating some good quality outcome. Another use case that we developed for our large ISV is about an agent that will convert iOS code into Android. So for this customer, we had developed Android and iOS applications for their end users. And being in production, there were a lot of feature requests that we were getting, and it was an overhead for the developers to implement it in both the code bases, and it was of course a duplication of efforts. So this agent really helped improve teams' productivity, where they could write the code in one code base, and then agent will actually convert it into another code base. So these are some of the use cases that I can think of as of now.
Finally, Shweta, I think for our audience, you have so much of experience implementing agentic AI in software development lifecycle. What do you think are the key takeaways and best practices one should follow if they are starting with their AI journey?
Of course, Shrikant, adopting agentic AI in product lifecycle, of course, is a transforming move. Like any significant shift, this one also has its learning curve. So my suggestion is always start small, but pick up a very high impact use case so that you can really get people on board easily. Second suggestion I have is you have to embed human in the loop, because agentic AI should augment human decision making and not replace it. So allow overrides or approval workflows before any major agent driven action. Thirdly, I think you have to build modular and observable agents. So an agent should always attempt an independent task. You can always orchestrate micro agents and automate a larger workflow. Another suggestion I have is you have to treat agents as like any other products, because agentic systems also evolve over time. So you have to allocate or assign a product owner for a major agent use case, collect user feedback, and ensure that you are able to embed the suggestions with agent UX as well as decision making. So to conclude, I will say that agentic AI is not just a tech upgrade. It is a mindset shift towards creating more modular and autonomous systems. So always stay iterative and let agentic AI amplify your team's productivity and innovation.
Poonam, we are really glad to have you here. I know you have quite a busy schedule, visiting customers, doing presentations. But today it's nice that we have you here and we can hear from you about how you have experienced the agentic AI transformation in some of the work that you've done. With Shweta, we talked about the SDLC part. I'm coming to you from a content engineering part. So can you share some real-world examples of where agentic AI has helped you scale content development without compromising quality?
Sure. So let me share with you a recent example where we used agentic AI to develop an entire series of leadership training content, right from content creation to video development, that too rapidly and without compromising quality. So basically, we were working for a large digital online publisher based out of North America. They have a huge library of content in leadership training, technical training, and soft skills training. They were looking for building a bite-sized explainer videos on leadership content. What they came to us was with a document which had listed the course outline and the course objectives, and that's it. What they said to us was, can you convert this into an engaging, interesting set of videos? So no scripts, no visualizations, just an outline. And we were supposed to create a bunch of explainer videos using this input. We brought in a set of AI agents with a clear role. The first one was an extractor AI agent, which basically read those links, reference links which were in the document, extracted content from them, and created a document which was rewritten by the AI agent itself, and also did a plagiarism check to create the first draft of raw content. The next AI agent came into picture, which converted that raw content into instructionally sound video scripts. The third agent took that video script and added a lot of stories, animations, examples, and visualization to the video script frame by frame. Once that AI agent did its job, the fourth agent comes into picture, which was basically focusing on multimedia asset generation. So we had an image generation agent, a video generation agent, voice agent, and so on. Once these raw assets were created by various agents, the video assembly agent came into picture, which took all these raw assets and converted them into videos. And then finally, we had our sixth agent, which was the critique or the review agent, which looked at those videos from an accessibility standpoint, consistency standpoint, and so on before it was hit published. Now, at every step of all these six agents, there was always the human involved to ensure consistency and accuracy as per the required quality. So, what was interesting was when we did this, the result was that we could do a video in less than 2 days, which would have otherwise taken us 6 to 8 days to complete the same video. And the best part, the customers shared that the videos were very easy to follow and they matched the quality standards which they were developing in the traditional way.
Poonam, that's a great example that you shared with us. Now, if you have to tell the digital learning providers what are the best practices if they are getting started with their agentic AI journey, if you can share some tips on that, that will be really great.
Sure. So while we ourselves are in the very early exploration phase of agentic AI, I can share some initial best practices that we are seeing through our initial projects. Firstly, the agent is not here to replace the human. They are here to augment your team. So consider them as augmenting your instructional designers and SMEs so that they can focus on higher level strategy, better learning approaches, and learning effectiveness. The agent can help you draft content, creating storyboards, writing assessments, doing plagiarism checks, and so on. But the human is needed in the loop to ensure consistency, coherence, and ensuring those nuanced learning requirements, which makes it an effective learning experience. Secondly, the AI agent's role should be very clear, and they should be able to perform things in a workflow. Just having 1 or 2 prompts and calling it an agent is not going to do its job. So make sure that the AI agent has a clear role in the workflow, and that role is clearly defined, which can be iterated multiple times. So for example, then I can have a storyboard agent which can take the raw content as an input, ensure the language is right as per the objectives, and then make sure that the first draft of the storyboard is created well. So it's a clear role of using a storyboard AI agent which can be reused multiple times. Third, embrace an iterative approach and don't look for perfection right out of the gate. The first AI agent can be a small agent which does a specific role, and that you can try it out in a controlled environment. Once it starts producing better, that's when you start doing more with that agent. This agile approach will allow you to learn and adapt quickly, ensuring you're building an AI solution that really delivers clear value. So to summarize, leverage AI as an assistant, define a clear role of the agent within the workflow, and iterate continuously. With these best practices, a digital learning content development process can be really scaled up to meet the required needs of the learner and create an impactful learning experience for them.
Thanks, Poonam and Shweta, for joining us today and sharing your perspectives on agentic AI and how it's being used in software development and content development as well. I think these perspectives would help people begin their AI journeys or continue their AI journeys with renewed vigor. So thank you. That brings us to the end of this exciting series on Turbocharged SDLC, the Agentic AI Era. Personally, for me, it's been an interesting experience to hear that many organizations have started on their Agentic AI journey in software product engineering. Thanks to all my colleagues and panelists at Harbinger for sharing their experiences. I'm sure this would have given you the confidence to try Agentic AI and generative AI in your areas of work. However, I do know that this topic has more questions than answers. I look forward to hearing from you, your points of view, and you know where to reach us at. Let's co-create the future with Agentic AI. Thank you.